Hey everyone, let's have a quick chat about Monstrous Regiment, the 31st book in the Discworld series, and it is listed also as the third book in the Industrial Revolution, but I honestly think the first three books in the Industrial Revolution could also be read as standalones, just like I think this one is a good standalone. It introduces you to the writing and the humor of Terry Pratchett, but it doesn't really rely on a lot of information from previous stories, previous characters, and anything going on the world. There are some characters, Commander Vimes and some of the Watch characters appear that you might want to have heard of. There's Mr. The Word, who appeared in Truth, whom you also might have want to heard of, but it doesn't matter if you haven't. You will still understand the story and fully enjoy the content of this book if you read it alone. So what is this about? This book, when I've picked it up, the only thing I remembered from reading it before was that it was about a girl pretending to be a boy going to the army, and there was a lot of chatter around campfires. I may have forgotten the plot, but I remembered that I highly enjoyed reading it the first time. And I wasn't wrong. I really enjoyed the story and the writing and everything that happened again. So, like I said, it starts off with Polly dressing up as a boy, pretending to be Oliver and signing up for the army because she wants to find her brother who has been lost, dead, or maybe imprisoned in the ongoing war. Polly lives in a country that we haven't really met before in other Discworld novels, but it's a very war-happy country. So it keeps getting into arguments with neighboring countries, and they have some form of loose border with one country. It always changes when the river changes its course, so they get into fights and wars a lot. So the country has been at war with a lot of people for a long time. Recently, they also aggravated Ankh-Morpork, and if you remember the Discworld, that is the main city where the hub of everything is going on, and if you anger them, they come and take control or meddle or whatever you want to call it. So the war has gotten a little bit bigger because stakes are higher now. And it is really fun to read. So we see in this book, basically the story is we follow Polly joining the army, trying to find her brother, and things happen. And I don't want to spoil more of the story, but what we see in the book is a very good representation of how it looks in a country that has been at war for a long time, how people are missing parts, how there are not a lot of young boys anymore, or that there is a lack of food, and the economy is not doing well. Aside from being very war happy, this country also is lacking a proper ruler. They say they have a duchess, but nobody has seen her in a long time, and she would have been over 90 years old. So technically, the prince of the neighboring country would inherit the throne, and then two countries would be one. But nobody really wants that. And then there's also their god. The people of this country follow Nugan, and Nugan is a little bit crazy, maybe also disappeared, or we don't know, but his book of revelations, or whatever it's called, basically every religion has a book you follow, but this one is rather flexible because it adds pages all the time with abominations that you need to follow. Abominations could be fun things or things that you really don't know how to deal with. And I really enjoyed that. So you have the fun look at girls pretending to be boys and how they realize or notice how the world treats them differently, how life is different when you wear trousers instead of a skirt, how people talk to you differently or treat you differently when they think you're a boy or a man instead of being a girl or a woman, and how much your rights and your voice changes in how much you have a say in things that are happening. And all of that is super interesting and enjoyable and just well done in true Terry Pratchett fashion. I also really enjoyed the characters, not only Polly, but the other group of people she joins the army with and the sergeant they meet, and the way the things in an army are represented in ranking order and who really has a say and who's a smart one and who isn't, and all of that typically fun Pratchett stuff. The religion stuff, typically fun Pratchett stuff. The ruling party and how that comes along, so much fun to see. And it really shows you a little bit of how Discworld works, of how the books tell you and give you a shine on how things work in our world and make you question things that you think are normal and natural, but you never really questioned them and looked at them from a different point of view. So I highly recommend Monstrous Regiment if you want to get into the Discworld novels. If you're already reading them, I hope you look forward to reading that. And now it's your turn. I want to hear what you thought of the book, what you liked, what you didn't like. If you have started your read of the Discworld novels now, I mean, I've talked about them for 31 books now in the last 13 years. I could be faster. But anyways, let me know in comments how your Discworld journey is going. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.